My ideal classroom. Hello, my name is Adilene Bonilla Guerrero. I am a second year student here at CSUSB. Through this presentation, I aim to discuss the ins and outs of my dream classroom. It should be mentioned that the classroom is intended for a fourth grade audience. So here is an area overview of my dream classroom. We can see the different areas here. Uh, let's begin with the main aspects. So the first aspect that I would like to discuss today are the collaborative table, moving on to the student seating arrangement, the reading corner, the snack place, as well as the safe place, the clothing center, the sports equipment area, the front board, as we can see in the image at this current moment, as well as the smart board, the art corner, the music area, and the self-care corner. So we can see here we're demonstrating the student seating arrangement. Moving on to the reading corner, we have a rug as well as some music. We have the shelves that contain the books. We also have the clothing center as well as the snack center. At this current moment, we can see that there are healthy eating choices on the table. Got some fruits, some grapes. Uh, we can also see the clothing center. Moving on, we will be able to see the sports area, the little chart cart that contains the balls and the hula hoops. We can also see a little bit of the music incorporation in the classroom, the guitar, the music stand. We can see the front board as well as the projector and the art area in the little corner. Let's begin with the collaborative table. The collaborative table is usually found in elementary school classrooms. It's in the corner or in the backspace area. This is an area where the educator can work one-on-one with students, and I think having that one-on-one connection is important to develop not only a sense of community in the classroom, but to really see where students are at in their developmental phases, as well as, seeing where students excel and seeing what areas students need a little more support in. In the collaborative table section, I plan on having baskets where students can turn in their finished work, as well as having little extra assignments when they finish early, a section with extra copies in case a student accidentally rips their assignment or loses their assignment, as well as having a little corner where we have the folders of each individual student and any work that was missed when they were absent can be found there. That way, when students come back and they're like, "What did I miss?" We can point to the corner and be like, "Oh, well, here is the material missed." I do also plan on incorporating an online version of this in case for any circumstance they are unable to come into the classroom. They're also able to access their work. Moving on to the seating arrangement. Here we have the seating arrangement. As we can see in all of these images, everything is separated in groups of four. I plan on having 4 students in each table group. Yeah, so I think it's important to foster that thinking pair share mentality where an individual analyzes the material by themselves and then pairs up with a group member of their table and they're able to share within each other and then are able to share either as a group in the classroom as a whole or within their group together. I think having each seat numbered is important. In each group, there will be 4 seats. Each one will be numbered as a respective number. I think this is going to help me a lot when it comes to assigning group projects or group assignments where, let's say, student number 1 or student that is sitting in seat number 1 will be the scribe. Student that is sitting on seat number 2 will be the presenter. Student that is sitting in group number 3 will be the one answering other classmates' questions, and let's say number 4 is the one that is giving the examples, things of that matter. I think it's important, obviously, to switch that up once in a while. Maybe number 1 will be the one answering the questions, things like that. But I think having each group numbered is really important as it smooths out the hey, no, I want to present, or no, I want to be the one that's writing, things like that. And having each group separated in groups of four, prevents any student being an outlier. Yeah, so I think having groups of four is really important. Moving on to the reading corner, as we can see in this little area right here. The reading corner. So for the reading corner, I plan on integrating obviously a little library, a classroom library where students are able to grab books that they will read throughout the semester, as well as having a little area where students feel cozy and safe, fostering that community feeling of welcomeness and acceptance. In the reading corner, I plan on having a reading graffiti wall. The book reading graffiti wall is intended to build a community amongst the students. This is a wall where the students will be able to write quotes that stand out to them as they read their books, obviously. It is an interactive way to boost student engagement with reading materials. And we can see a little example of the reading corner in the classroom. Moving on to the safe place, I do plan on connecting the reading corner next to the safe place. So the safe place is an area where students are able to self-regulate. As we all know, self-regulation is key. And I believe having a space where students are able to self-regulate is essential. This place will be called the safe place. As seen on the slide, I plan on making it a very cozy, safe environment, a place where students are able to identify their feelings and are able to ground themselves. It will be fidget toys, a little beanbag, maybe a little plushie or something of that matter that helps them feel safe and calm down. I do plan on having certain regulations, thus, only having one student there at the time, or having a 5-minute timer, things of that liking, to prevent it from being a disruption to the class. Moving on to the snack center, which you can see in this little space right here. It's a little table where students can grab a little snack. We don't know what's going on in our students' lives. There are a lot of things going on in the world, and we don't know if they are facing food insecurity. And I think having a little place where students are able to grab snacks, either that be a fruit or a vegetable or maybe a granola bar, whatever it may be, is important to provide. This is important to provide. As we know, student engagement boosts when students are fed and have the energy to focus on the material. Moving on to the clothing center. The clothing center, so this will be a little area where students are able to get, as the name suggests, any clothing that they may need. We don't know, again, what's going on in our students' lives, and there's a lot of real things going out there. And I think providing a little space where students can feel safe. Maybe it's raining and they need a jacket, and at home they might not have a jacket, but at school they can get those utensils that they need, and I think having a little space for them is essential. I plan on also accepting community donations for the students, a little area where they're able to get maybe rain boots if it's raining, or maybe they need, as I said, a jacket, or maybe they had an accident and need a pair of underwear and a pair of pants. Yeah, by fourth grade they'll be able to change themselves. So I think having a little place where they can get the clothing that they might need is important. Or maybe their backpack ripped and they need an extra backpack, whatever it may be. I do plan on incorporating a little section where they can get whatever they might need. Moving on to the sports equipment. Physical education might not be as extensive as we might wish, but as educators, we can take a little time of our teaching time to have that little space for students to really work on their physical agilities and their physical activities. And I think having, 5 minutes at the end of the day, or maybe at the end of the week, where students are able to let out their energy is very important. As we can see here, we have a little cart that contains balls, hula hoops, whatever it may be, for students, as well as having this little area for dancing breaks. Go Noodle is an amazing website, as well as YouTube has a lot of good websites. Has a lot of good videos. Sorry, uh, that allows them to let out their energy. It's important for us as educators to foster that physical activity as a constant thing as this sets up their future. And, incorporating those little small steps for a healthy lifestyle is part of our job. It's important. Moving on to the front board, so you can see in this little area right here. So here are some images of what the front board may be or might look like. I plan on utilizing this area as a sort of organization system for students so that they're able to see what we're learning at the current moment. For example, here the students are learning about place value and expansion notation, as well as having some charts that contains the information, as well as having their weekly jobs, their classroom jobs, their weekly words, their vocabulary, etc. Here are some more images that students may uh, that the classroom may look like that may help students. Moving on to the smartboard. Let's face it, technology is here to stay, and having a little place where we can actually incorporate the technology, not just have it there to stand by, but actually incorporating it as an interactive way is important. And I plan on utilizing the smart boards that are in the classroom in an interactive way to really get those learning juices going. I plan on utilizing Classroom Screen. Classroom Screen is an amazing website that connects to the smart board as well as your laptop. So as you move here, it will demonstrate on the online screen that they have. So I plan on utilizing Classroom Screen as a way to write their standards, their learning intentions, their starters. We can utilize QR codes that the students can then click on their own screens to take them to their morning starters. It also has a timer, which is really important, as well as a little traffic light that tells us when the classroom is being too loud or the classroom is being at where it should be, etc. Moving on to the art corner. Creativity is important, and as an educator, I hope to foster a space where students feel free to be creative. I plan on having an art corner where students will learn about uh, different artists and will able to integrate the techniques these artists use within their own masterpieces, which leads me to the student self-portrait section of my classroom, where at the beginning of the school year, I plan on teaching about a certain artist, learning about their techniques, their colors, which then students will be able to recreate that same thematic scheme of the artist onto their own portrait. I think it's important as at the beginning of the school year, students are a little nervous, and having a way to draw themselves amongst a community will help them feel part of the community and will grow that connection among their students and among their peers. So yeah, I think it's important to let them feel like they're part of the classroom. They're just not there, but they're being part of the learning as well. Moving on to the music incorporation in the classroom. As I said, creativity is important, and what other way to be creative than through music? I plan on incorporating music in the classroom. I hope to invite different artists throughout the week, local artists throughout the week or throughout the month actually, that are able to teach students a little bit about their work. I think it's an amazing way for students to view a wide range of careers in the music aspect or industry. So it's a great way to foster that community amongst the community, like the neighborhood community and the school community itself. Moving on to the self-care corner. As I mentioned previously, there are a lot of things going on in our world, and we don't know if students do not have access to certain hygiene products at home, or maybe, they may just need something for the day. They forgot their chapsticks or whatever it may be. I think having a little corner, a little area where they're able to access all this without having to ask the educator is important, as it, allows them to actually get whatever they may need without uh, feeling scared of being embarrassed and asking in front of everyone. So I think a little self corner is great. Fourth grade, deodorant, it's important. Band-aids, chapsticks, feminine products, amongst many others. Moving on to one of my favorite parts, the classroom themes. So as we can see here, I plan on utilizing a lot of that uh, color theme theory, right? A lot of the greens, a lot of the blues that makes them feel welcomed and comfortable in the classroom, as well as this outer space theme. As we can see in the presentation, I really think letting students know that their accomplishments are out of this world is important to make them gain that confidence in themselves. I plan on theming a lot of my decoration around the hungry caterpillar, as well as utilizing a lot of these ambience lighting, a lot of warm lighting, fosters that community sense, a lot of the greens and blues. I plan on utilizing these caterpillars as a way to distinguish between tables. I will hang the caterpillar on the ceiling, and each caterpillar will have the number of the table. That way, everything is organized and students know what when I call on table number one, who table number one is, or what number corresponds to the group. So here a little bit of the classroom decoration. I plan on including seasonal bulletin boards. So these are for summer. The more you read, the more you know. As well as a fall bulletin board. Here are some ideas. Let's fall in love with learning. Some seasonal bulletin boards. Oh dear, winter is here. It should be added that I also plan on adding in the same section students' work examples of, examples that students have done during that period to showcase and once again build their self-esteem as viewing that their work is presented for others to view. Here are some more examples. These are for spring. Moving on to the classroom theme doors, I plan on utilizing my classroom as much as I can to really feel it like a home, really make it feel like home. I plan on decorating my classroom door, some for winter, for uh, for February, for spring, some for fall, some for beginning of the school year, right? Welcome home to our new home. Welcome to our classroom. Yeah, but here are some ideas for my classroom. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and getting a little view of what my ideal classroom would look like. Thank you.